The pixel people pause. Steps on top inside. Rewind the future fraud. The pixel people pause.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We need to come up with a name for our listeners. We have to work on that here in the next couple of weeks, like potties or something like that.
Potty mouths.
Yeah. I was going to scream sing the opening to this one in honor of the topic, but I couldn't do it. So tonight's topic is on the possibly greatest rock and roll album ever made, Back in Black, AC/DC from 1980. But before we get to that, we have Jan's Gnarly News.
Here we go. Jan's Gnarly News. Jan's Gnarly News.
I know what you do for money, honey. Give us that news.
All right, August 3rd, 1980-something, Jan's Gnarly News. August 3rd, 1981 was probably, I'm going to go out and say it was. August 3rd, 1981 was the biggest labor confrontation in U.S. aviation history.
Oh, is that when they went on strike?
13,000 air traffic controllers walked off the job and were striking.
Yeah, and Reagan said, stay off the job.
Reagan gave an ultimatum to return to work within 48 hours or be terminated. So thousands of them refused, and 11,000 controllers were fired in one single day.
Yep.
And banned from further federal service.
Yeah, he didn't play around with that. You're not striking on something like that. You work it out. You don't strike on air traffic. People will disagree with me, but there's certain jobs where you just cannot strike, and that was one of them.
They scrambled to use supervisors, military controllers, and then they trained some replacements really fast.
Yeah.
I can imagine what chaos that was in 1981.
Oh, yeah.
That was what my military MOS, my job in the military, transferred into civilian world.
Really? Air traffic control?
Yep.
Why are you not an air traffic controller now?
First of all, I hated my job in the military, which I know would be a lot different, but it's also the highest rate of suicide of any profession in the world is air traffic controllers.
Yeah, this plays into one of my favorite 80s movies of all time, Summer Rental. That movie, John Candy's an air traffic controller, and that's why he's on vacation. They force him to take a vacation because he's cracking under the pressure.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that, but I know what you're talking about.
He thinks he lost a plane, and he's like screaming into it, and there's a bug on the screen blocking it, and they're like, you need to take some time. It's getting to you. Also, of course, remember in Breaking Bad, the air traffic controller that snaps.
No, I don't know anything about Breaking Bad except that it was on TV.
Oh, my gosh, you got to watch that.
No, I am not.
Yes, you do.
I refuse.
Okay.
I refuse.
What's the reasoning on that, Chris?
Because I think I watched 1.5 episodes and people were talking about, oh, this is the greatest show ever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe so.
It is
overhyped.
You got to give it more than 1.5 episodes, Chris.
No, if you can't hook me in the first episode, you can't hook me enough to me want to watch another one. We're not going to watch the show.
You're going to miss out there because that literally is top 3 greatest show of all time.
I would disagree.
And its spinoff is probably better than it. Better Call Saul was probably better than Breaking Bad. It's like a 9.9 and a 9.99.
Well, my son is a massive Breaking Bad fan, and I'm just like, he's tried to get me to watch it, and I refuse. I'm not watching it.
There's been a couple shows where I had to watch the very first episode 2 or 3 times before I got hooked.
I
think if a show is supposed to be so great that it takes me a whole 7 or 8 episodes of the first season or whatever, you got to watch those. That's to me it's not that great a show. You didn't do enough to.
But Breaking Bad isn't 7 or 8. Breaking Bad is get through the first couple episodes and let it set the premise. And trust me,
it's just like Yellowstone. I'm the same way. I'm not watching Yellowstone either.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I watched the very first episode 2 times and still couldn't get into it.
I mean, I love Kevin Costner and big fan of most of his movies and stuff, but I just could never get into that.
There's the last 3 episodes of Breaking Bad are the 3 greatest episodes television's ever written and performed.
I think you're incorrect, sir.
No,
I believe that's incorrect.
No, You've got to one
it
day
just-
give into that.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to stand my ground. I refuse.
Okay. All right. Well, be that cranky old man.
No, I just don't. I mean, like I told you, I'm just never. I mean, to me, there's better shows.
All right.
Moving along to 80s stuff. Released August 3rd, 1982, If That's What It Takes, which was the debut album by Michael McDonald. It peaked at number
Nice.
6.
His debut solo album. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the big song on that?
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
What is it?
I keep forgetting.
I don't remember what it's called. What is it?
Okay. Shut up. I'm not falling for it third time.
You're not getting it done today. Okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. That's a good song.
And also, I Gotta Try. Those were the two biggest singles from that album.
You know what's funny is I've got a good friend of mine named Matt. I don't know if he listens to the podcast or not, but I'm going to tell him he's got to listen to it because he gets a shout out today. Matt Hager.
Yep.
The song that Michael McDonald did, I believe is the Doobie Brothers song that is the hip hop song.
It's I keep forgetting. It's
okay. I
yeah.
can't remember the name of I can't remember the title of the song, but anyway, we were at a 4th of July party and he was like, I just today found out that this was a Michael McDonald song. This wasn't, what was it? Who is it that sings it?
It's Warren G and Nate Dogg, isn't it?
Warren G. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I always thought that's who that was until I heard on Yacht Rock Radio this song. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I said, you didn't know? He goes, my entire life, I never knew that. I was like, wow.
I saw a meme on Instagram the other week where it was showed like a guy says, you're in your 50s when you have to let that song go like a minute in before you realize which version it is because you like them both. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that Warren G song's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's
it
a
is.
great
Yeah.
song.
Yep.
All right. Born August 3rd, 1983, at Indiana University Hospital in Indianapolis, the Gaither Quintuplets. Ashley, Joshua, Renee, Raylynn, and Brandon. They
they had a massive. Go ahead. Sorry.
What was you going to say?
I said they had a massive gospel career.
Yeah, when Jan said Gaither first, that's the first place my mind went to.
Yeah.
Well, these kids were the very first surviving black quintuplets in the U.S.
Really?
Yep, and it happened naturally without fertility drugs.
I was gonna
making
bet-
it even more miraculous and rare.
When you said quintuplet, I was going to say, what were they like the first test tube quintuplets or something? I don't know. That was so rare. Yeah.
No, this
So
was
they
all
were.
natural.
Was it? They were the first natural or the first black? Or
Natural.
the first.
No, the
natural?
first-
First surviving black quintuplets in the U.S.
Yeah.
But it
That-
also happens that it was natural without fertility drugs.
That is weird because fertility drugs, when they work, they almost work too good. People want a kid and they end up getting like 2 or 3. It's wild how that works.
August 3rd, 1984, Mary Lou Retton scored a perfect 10 on the final vault to win the individual all-around competition at the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
She was America's sweetheart.
Yep.
Yeah,
She
I
became
remember
the
watching
first
that.
American
Yep.
woman to win an Olympic gymnastics medal.
Yeah, she's a legend forever because of that.
Yep. Yeah, she was all over everything. The Wheaties box and commercials, and yeah, she got a lot of play out of that. That was one. Didn't the Russians boycott the '84?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It don't matter. She still won.
She would have
we
still won.
we whip them every time.
Yeah, when you get a perfect 10, it don't matter who you're going against. That's good.
She had to get a perfect 10, though. I didn't realize
Oh,
that
really?
until I was doing this research. She had to get a perfect 10
Huh.
to be able to get the gold.
Interesting.
August 3rd, 1985, the Brothers in Arms LP by the Dire Straits was at number 1 on UK singles charts. And it is still one of the most successful albums in world history.
Okay, this ties into something. Now I understand why I saw this on Twitter or X today. So, the song Money for Nothing, Jan brought it to me one time. She didn't realize, this is a couple years ago, that was Sting that sang on that song. And I was like,
Yeah.
And I remember, Jan, I was telling you, what? Everybody knew that was Sting, Jan. What? And I was like, I can't believe you didn't know that was Sting. So today, I'm checking out X, and I see my friend Brad has replied to a post about Dire Straits and Money for Nothing. And Brad said, I was like 30 years later when I realized that was Sting that sang on that song. I had no idea. He said, I heard that song. It's one of my favorite albums. I listened to that song a million times. I know Sting's voice, and it never occurred to me that was Sting till like 30 years later. And I was like, okay. And it turns out a couple people replied going, yeah, I never knew that. So
'Cause it's
apparently,
How
such
did
a
you
weird
not know
combo.
that?
but one of the thing that somebody said was, well, it was all over MTV. How did you not know that? But I mean, I didn't have MTV, but I just knew his voice. But I guess a lot of people that didn't have MTV and have it shoved in your face so much right then, you know, I guess it's you didn't think back then somebody would guest on something like that. Now, I mean, I guess, you know, like I say, several people now I know that didn't know it. So you hear it now when you know it's Sting. It's obvious it's Sting, but I guess it's, you know, you just don't realize it at the time.
Did you repost that today?
Yeah.
Because I saw the same thing today.
Yeah.
That's maybe where I saw it. But
Yeah.
no, I knew. I mean, like, I don't see how you didn't know it was Sting. Sting was so all over everything that his voice is so distinctive that you have to know that's him.
A lot of people
But I
didn't.
guess when we were in our teens, we didn't know it, I guess. But
Yeah, you didn't
no,
have it all over. You didn't have social media and everything too pushing that either.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
That
but-
album spent 14 weeks at number 1 in the UK and 9 weeks at number 1 in the US and 34 weeks at number 1 in Australia.
That album was going to on my short list for albums we were going to cover this year, but I listened to it and the hits are great, but it doesn't. I get why it was so big with that song and at the time, but I don't
Well, that
think
video was amazing.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, the video. I just don't think that album holds up and is as great as people probably remember it as now. So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that one.
Here's something crazy, though.
Well,
It won a
ahead.
Grammy in 1986, and it won another Grammy in 2006 when they released a 20th anniversary edition,
Huh?
which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the first album in history to sell over 1 million copies in CD format.
Here's another cool little New Day twist. Last week, I don't know if you guys saw, but Shane Gillis set the record for most tickets sold to a comedy show when he sold out is it the Met, Chris, in Philly?
Yeah, I think I know it's where the Eagles and them
Yeah,
play
I
their
think it's the
games,
Met.
so, yeah.
He sold it out like 78,000 something seats for a comedy show. And that was his intro song was Money for Nothing. He came out to it. I thought that was pretty cool.
And you know who one of the openers for him was?
Big J. Okerson, one of my favorites.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle and Big J. Okerson.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Money for Nothing. That video was groundbreaking. It was so far ahead of its time. But there's always been a rumor, and I don't know, you might know this. There's a line that they don't play on
They actually still do.
regular radios.
I heard
On
it.
the regular radio, not on like Sirius they do, but not like on
Yeah.
99.7 or whatever,
Yeah.
where they take out the little F with the earrings and the makeup.
Yeah.
The rumor I always heard, and I don't know, that it was about my favorite solo artist of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
George Michael? Yeah.
About
I've-
George Michael.
I've never
Yeah, I
heard
don't know
that.
if it's true or not, but
I've never heard that rumor. But here's, I do know how he came up with that line. He heard guys saying it. That whole thing was he was standing in line like an appliance store buying something, and he heard the two workers in there just watching a music video and say, look at them. They don't do nothing to make millions. That's how you got to do it. Get all the chicks. He just basically wrote that song off listening to those two guys talk.
it's a great song. I heard it today on the radio
Yeah.
on the 80s and 90s.
And that
channel.
album's got so
It
far
was
away
great.
from me on it, and it's got a couple good songs. but
Walk
the-
of Life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Walk of Life, but the rest
Yeah.
of it just does not hold up, I
Yeah.
don't think. And people can argue with me. I mean, this is an opinion, but
Hey, it sold more than 30 million copies worldwide.
yeah.
I mean, it's submitted Mark as one of the greatest guitar players in the world, for sure.
And he's one of those guys I always bring up that does not use a pick. He uses his fingers, and he has a unique
He's
sound
so
because of it.
good.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
All right, August 3rd, 1986, the reigning Super Bowl champions, Chicago Bears, defeated the Dallas Cowboys 17-6 in the very first American Bowl at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, really?
Mm,
Huh. It's always a good
Yeah.
news item when the Dallas Cowboys lose.
that's
E-
true.
even
It's
30
always-
years
and that's
ago.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
40
pretty
years.
normal now.
Yeah, well, I get the first American Bowl. That I wonder if that was the first time they went outside the states. Then I guess now they do it.
Maybe.
They have every
7
other
games
week?
a
Yeah,
season or something.
yeah, they play a lot over there. It's not that big a deal now, but I just
Yeah.
still don't think that American football will catch on worldwide like soccer has everywhere else. I think it's something that strictly is big enough here, and They're going to keep trying to expand it everywhere, but I just don't think it'll get as big as they want it to. But that's me.
I think the Dolphins played overseas last year or the year before last.
Yeah.
My dad said, well, I guess somebody across the ocean needed to eat some fish because they got beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital during that game.
Oh, there you go. See?
Because they played Washington. So I had it on in my hospital room.
Did Washington win?
No, they got their butts whipped.
By the Dolphins last year?
I had them turn off the TV or change the channel at halftime. I was like, I can't watch this. And the nurses are like, yeah, you probably don't need to be watching this if you're pulling for Washington. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to get all stressed out. So,
yeah. So,
released August 3rd, 1987, Def Leppard's Hysteria.
There you go. One of our big podcasts.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That was a great podcast too, if nobody's listened to it. But I'm glad you said that because you said something on the intro that we'll talk about in a minute that deals with this album.
Okay. All right.
Of course, we know it had so many hit singles.
Yeah.
Animal, Women, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Hysteria, Armageddon It, Love Bites, Rocket. What a phenomenal album.
Yep.
All right, August 3rd, 1989, the Reds set a major league record for the most hits in the first inning of a game. Do you guys want to guess how many hits they got?
What year was that again?
1989.
Was Pete Rose still playing for him then? So,
I don't know.
he might have been with the Phillies.
I don't know.
12.
I don't know.
They got
I'm gonna
16
go
hits.
15,
Sorry,
16,
Chris.
16.
16 hits? Good Lord.
16 hits and scored 14 runs.
Wow. Boy, that's when it's not your day as a pitcher. The whole pitching staff.
It was against the Astros. So apparently the Astros didn't have good pitching in 1989.
I wonder how many pitchers they pulled and replaced in that inning. I have to look that up later. Because, I mean, you get through 4 runs, they probably yank the starter, then they put the other guy in, he gives up 4 runs or something. They're like, just keep pulling them.
What was the score at the end of the first inning? What did you say the score was? Or did you
They scored 14 runs first inning.
It would 16 hits.
16 hits.
It wouldn't shock me if they pulled the starter and the other guy gave up like 6-7 runs and at that point, it's not your day. If I was a manager, I'd probably leave the guy in just to finish it. Like, you're eventually going to get 3 outs. So I'm not going to keep sticking pitchers in here.
Yeah. They just seem to let them work through it.
Plus, once the original guy gave up like 4 or 5 runs, it's like, well, you're not going to get the loss anyway. The second guy just stay in there.
Yeah.
So,
there you have Jen's Gnarly News.
Oh, gnarly!
Thank you, Jen. So that brings us to this week's topic, which is the AC/DC album Back in Black from 1980. Chris, what did you want to bring up on that?
Well, you introduced it, and I can understand why you introduced it that way, but you said possibly the greatest rock album of all time.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. I would say it's one of the greatest rock albums of all time, but I don't know album sales wise, it's greater. But I think Hysteria holds up as good, if not better, than Back in Black. I think Hysteria is as good an album.
I'm going to argue Back in Black over Hysteria because Back in Black is literally every song in it is a banger. It's top notch.
I feel the same way about Hysteria.
I would say maybe 1 or 2 Hysteria songs. Maybe I wouldn't give. I think every song on Back in Black's a 10 out of 10.
Well, Chris, I have the numbers right here in front of me. Hysteria sold
I know
over 20 million.
Oh, I know. It's 30
Back in Black
or whatever,
sold an estimated
million.
50 million.
Yeah. Back in Black is the highest selling rock album of all time.
It's the second best selling album in music history.
Yeah, behind Thriller worldwide. In the United States, it's third.
I think Hysteria is good.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, which doesn't hold a lot of weight.
Especially a guy that don't watch Breaking Bad.
Well, also a guy who refuses to watch, what's that one crappy Netflix show that you love?
Netflix show?
About the 80s? About the
80s? Stranger Things. It's great.
Yeah.
But come on now. Breaking Bad is so much better than Stranger Things. So we're not getting into that.
So you're saying Breaking Bad is better than Sopranos?
Yeah, I think it is. Sopranos has some down moments. Breaking Bad has no down moments. But we'll do a whole. Maybe we'll do a quick battle on that where I'll try to sell it on you. So.
You can try, but you'll lose that battle. But go ahead.
All right, let's get into this album.
Yeah.
So one of the things I saw wrote on this album, and I had to clip it out, was it said AC/DC's Back in Black is one of the most remarkable comeback stories in music history. transforming tragedy into the best-selling rock album of all time. That's a pretty good way to describe that album. So, in February 1980, February 19th, actually, Bon Scott passed away. AC/DC's not original, Rod Evans. No, not Rod Evans. Dave Evans. And then Bon took over. And then when he died, they were seriously thinking about calling it quits. Because, I mean, they just put out Highway to Hell, which we'll discuss on that. It's another one that's like a perfect 10 album from them. I was trying to think about that today. If you think about it, Highway to Hell with Bon Scott, and then he dies, and they stick in Brian Johnson and put out the biggest rock album of all time, back to back. And I thought that would never be accomplished. But I would argue that Van Halen 1984 with David Lee Roth, and then Sammy Hagar comes in with 5150, just as good, is the same sort of thing, but not on quite the epic scale. When Bon died, they were seriously thinking about quitting, and his family said, "Do not break the band up over this. You know, he loved the band. You guys are good. Keep going." And this wasn't even me researching that. I just know this. They were auditioning some people, and they knew of Brian Johnson because Bon Scott had told. There's a rumor going around that Bon Scott had said, "Hey, if I ever die, get that guy from Geordie." But he had met Brian Johnson before and told the guys, "Hey, I like that guy. He's a good singer." He didn't say hire him if I die. But Brian Johnson got a call about, "Hey, you need to go. They want to audition you." And he showed up with just his little derby hat on and his regular clothes and blue jeans, and was downstairs shooting pool with the roadies. And they didn't know he was there. They thought he was just some guy hanging out with the roadies because he was such an everyday guy, and brought him in. And then they realized this is the guy, you know. They brought him in to work on that album, and they recorded it in April and May. I mean, they went right after Bon Scott died. They recorded that album between April and May at Compass Point Studios in Nassau, Bahamas. And while they were recording, they were having power outages. There was massive storms came through, tropical storms, everything. So just before we get into the song stuff, Hell's Bells that's the lyrics. When Brian Johnson, there was a storm coming, and that's where I got the lyrics for that. Sitting under a tree, watching a storm come in, and got the lyrics for Hell's Bells off of a storm coming in the Bahamas. So Mutt Lange produced it, which is a big deal. I mean, Mutt Lange produced everything back then, so. I believe he produced Hysteria, did he not?
He did.
Yes. So there you go. There's your synergy on that, Chris.
Synergy.
Think about this 6 months if you're an AC/DC. So Bon Scott dies February 19th of 1980. They hire Brian Johnson in March of 1980. They record the album April and May, and it was mixed and released on July 25th, 1980. So in basically 6 months, they lose their singer, hire a new singer, go to the Bahamas, record this album, mix it, and release it within a 6-month period. The biggest selling rock album of all time.
How many of these songs were already pretty much written completely, and they just had to put his vocals on it?
I don't know, but I know that there was a couple songs that they've been working on, but there's always been rumors that Bon had wrote some lyrics for songs like that, but they've said he didn't. That's not how they did it back then. Angus and Malcolm always wrote all the music and stuff, so I'm sure a lot of these riffs they had already created and stuff.
Johnson wrote some of these songs as well.
Yeah, he wrote the lyrics for all these songs. Malcolm and Angus wrote the guitar, all the music, but then Brian wrote the lyrics for these songs. And again, I think we talked the other week, Brian wrote the lyrics for all the albums he was in up until like the late 80s. And then Malcolm and Angus said, "I will take over the lyrics." And there's a reason AC/DC hasn't put out as good of music as they used to. I don't think Angus and Malcolm could write lyrics like Brian or Bon did. But, you know, hey, they run the band. It's their gig.
Yeah.
I did see, though, that initial reaction on that album, people loved it. Every time you hear about an album, the people love and everybody love, usually the critics kind of bag on it. Every Led Zeppelin album that ever came out, the critics dogged at the time. Think about that. And now they've all gone back and looked at it with, fresher eyes and listened to them with new ears. It's like, oh, these are great albums, but they dogged them all the time. This album got great reaction by the reviews and the fans, which, I'm sure was an ease for those guys. But worldwide, that album has sold over 50 million copies, and it is considered the best-selling rock album of all time because they don't count the Eagles' greatest hits because it's a compilation album. But that's sold more, but it's not.
I would have thought that Dark Side of the Moon would have been higher sales wise because it was on the charts for so many years.
Yeah,
Like in the top 200 for so many years. I would have thought
it's
that would have
up
been
there. It's up
higher.
there. The three biggest ones are the Eagles' Greatest Hits, Volume 1, Thriller, and Back in Black.
Well, in contrast, we were talking about the Dire Straits and the Brothers in Arms album.
Yeah.
That album was certified 9 times platinum in the U.S. Back in Black was certified 27 times platinum.
Yeah.
Just to give you a contrast.
Yeah, and it'll hit 30 eventually, though. I mean, that album just keeps selling. I have it on vinyl. I owned it on cassette. I have it on CD. You know, that's one that I've had all three formats. It's that good. I have some memories on that album, but I'll get to it. But here's a fun fact that shocked me today, and this is to really show you on the staying power of this album. When you say it sold 27 million in the United States, guess what it peaked at on Billboard?
Never number one.
Right. Chris, where do you think it peaked at?
6.
4. It hit 4 and stopped.
It never hit number one.
Yeah, it never hit. It hit number 1 in the UK, in France, in Canada, Australia, but in the United States, it only hit number 4. So, you know, you always talk about these. We've talked about these albums that, like Whitney Houston, that album debuted at number 1. You know, this album was a slow churn, worked its way up to 4, and just that was its peak. But it's sold and sold and sold and sold. It's never not sold. Which, you know, that there's different ways, I guess, of getting that platinum album, and that theirs was just word of mouth and radio play. The singles on it, here's another one now. There was not big singles. You think about these songs you hear on classic radio now. You know, you hear off that album, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. You hear Hell's Bells a lot. Shook Me All Night Long, of course, and Back in Black. But the singles on it, the ones that really did anything at all, Shook Me All Night Long only peaked at number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100. Back in Black peaked at 37, and Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution didn't even chart in the United States as a single. It was number 15 on the UK singles chart. So none of those songs like hit it big as a big radio single either. It's just they got played and they just kept getting played, and you know that album has earned its 27 million here in the States. It's hard to believe that It Shook Me All Night Long peaked at 35 when considering how much that song gets played, how it's played at every sporting event. I mean, my band used to play it. We closed gigs with that song. It's one of those songs that you hear so many times you hate it for a while. I don't know if y'all are like that. Do you ever get tired of that song?
No, I don't.
See, I got tired of that song for like a decade. And we played it in the band one night and decided to add it to our set list. Ever since then, I listen to it now again and love it. Once I played it, it was like, yeah, I forgot how good this song was. But I think I'm tired of Back in Black, though. That one kind of, I just skip it now. Is any of the songs on this, Chris, that just you've heard too many times?
I would say probably Back in Black is probably the one, and You Shook Me All Night Longer, the two that you hear the most, I think.
Yeah.
I'll turn, like you said, I'll turn Back in Black if I like. You might hear it once or twice a day, it seems like, on the rock radio channels on Sirius and things like that. But like Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution and Hell's Bells to me are two that, like, I don't have a real where I'm like, I'm turning it out. When they come on, I'm like, all right, let's turn it up instead of turning it off.
Yeah.
Those songs, like, I was going to listen to the album all the way through again today.
Yeah.
So today when I was coming home, I like put the album on, I was going to listen to it. And I just hit shuffle, and the first song it played was Back in Black, and I hit skip. I'm like, I heard the song enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I think when you said earlier it sold 50 million albums, you bought 3 versions of the same album.
Yeah.
So, like now 4, if you download it on Spotify or Apple, so there's another form of the way you're streaming it. But, like, I think these albums will continue to grow, like you said, because of streaming, because people who never knew it before have access to it now.
Yep. Well, let's run over the songs. Let's give our thoughts on the songs. So the first song on the album is Hell's Bells. I love this song because when I was learning guitar, this was the easy one to learn when I was like single picking notes off a chord. And so it was fun to play. And I remember we played back when I just took over on like rhythm guitar from drums. We played a backyard party at this house one night, and I was like hooking up my guitar, and I started playing the opening riff to that, and everybody thought, oh my God, just, but I only knew the opening part of it. And we didn't know the rest of the song. I think we disappointed them. But I've always loved that song. It's such a good, it's one of those slow build songs. It's just really good. Jan, what do you think?
You remember you and I watched some kind of documentary type thing on the bell that was used?
Oh, yeah.
in
The
that
bell,
song?
yeah.
Very interesting.
They had
to hear the backstory.
Yeah, they wanted a bell, and I think it had to be in the key of A, if I'm not mistaken. And they went to some churches and all this stuff and would ring the bell, but they were in the wrong key. And they eventually said, we're just going to build a bell. So they had their own bell forged to be the right key for this song. And it's the bell they drag around at all their shows. They drag that bell around for decades. That big, huge, massive bell that they actually had forged and still just, it's amazing to think about what went into that. So just know that a lot of work went in to get that opening bell, that gong bell.
How did they do that in the 7 weeks it took them to record this album?
Yeah. But, Chris, you like that one?
Yeah, I mean that's a great song. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great way to start an album out.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, and you're like, what is this? It's kind of unusual, and it's just, it's just like a, hey, here we are. This is our new era. Here's what we're going with.
It's a custom 2,000-pound bronze bell. All right, the next one is Shoot to Thrill. It kicks your, the first one's like a slow build, This one, right in their face, high octane one. This is another good one. I mean, I love this song. It's one that should get more airplay on it. It does, but Jan, what do you think on Shoot to Thrill?
I love Shoot to Thrill.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about it.
Chris, is this one of those you turn up when you hear it?
Yeah, I think this is one of the great love songs of all time. I mean, just when we should have done this one that's the wrong song. Sorry. This to me is, I will say this. You may think this is probably my second favorite song on the album.
Really?
Yeah, more than likely. I'd say it's my first or second favorite song on the album. So yeah,
that's a thumbs up from all of us. All right, the next one is "What Do You Do for Money, Honey?" That's another upbeat, heavy song. Another upbeat, heavy song.
Are you all right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he's just thinking about what he would do for money, honey.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
he got choked. He got choked up.
Yeah.
Never know.
So this song, I tell you what I love about this song. When he gets in that part where it's just the drum beat and he's saying, "What do you do for money, honey? How do you?" And it kicks into that awesome guitar solo from Angus. That is such an awesome build into a guitar solo. It's one of those that just, I turn it up a little louder right then. I love that song. It's a great driving song. His voice is so, people always talk about Brian over the years, like his voice, how's he kept it like that? He has kept it that way, but he's at a different level on these first couple albums when he was at AC/DC. This one especially, he is singing at it, especially when you look at stuff he did in his band Geordie before this. His screaming, his gritty sound, and the keys he's singing some of these songs is like just amazing. Because when he sings them now, they say he sounds like Brian. He's like Sammy Hagar when Sammy said he's tuned down, but he still sounds like himself. He sings stuff now. It's not in this high pitch like he used to, but he still sounds like himself. But he is going all out on these songs with the vocals, and it works. You a fan of this one, Chris?
It's not one of my favorite songs on this album. It was one I could skip and
listen to it tomorrow again, but listen when they get to the little middle break when their drums kick and he's singing and that guitar kicks in, the solo. It's like so good. So the next one's Giving the Dog a Bone.
I want to know,
why
was this lady giving the dog so many bones?
I don't know. We need to ask Brian that, but that lucky dog. This one
is it a milk bone?
Yeah, probably.
He doesn't specify.
Yeah, this song to me, I love it, but I would say this is the weakest one on the album, but I still think it's a great song. So, like, if somebody like said, "Hey, you have to take one song off this album," this be the one I take off. But I don't skip it when it's on. I like it.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't give him a chicken bone, because that's not good for dogs.
Did you know that last Wednesday on the 29th was National Chicken Wing Day? So.
No, but listen, you can't go wrong with these lyrics.
Okay, let's hear it.
She's no Mona Lisa. She's no Playboy star. But she'll send you to heaven, then explode you to Mars.
Yeah.
Giving the dog a bone.
That's pure rock and roll lyrics right there.
Yep.
The next
it's like a Darlene Nikki lyric almost.
Yeah. He was keeping up a little bit of that Bon Scott double entendre stuff right there.
Yeah.
The next one is the slow ballad. Let Me Put My Love Into You.
It's so romantic.
Yep.
So romantic.
Yeah.
It should have been on our ballads for sure.
Yeah. It's a great song. It's it's slow it down, get a little love song there from him. It's another one that it's not the up-tempo rocker like the other ones, but I don't skip it. It's just, I love that song. It's good. Jan, you a fan of that one?
More great lyrics in that one.
Let's hear
Flying on a
Is she
free
turning
flight.
red?
Yeah. So,
No. Just
let's hear 'em.
Give us that beautiful beam footage, Jan.
flying on a free flight, driving all night with my machinery, 'cause I got the power any hour to show the man in me.
See, I can't write. I could not write a lyric like that. What was the lyric I saw today? And I was, I heard a song today. I heard that Vince Gill song. Was it Go Fly on the Mountain? What is it? And I
Go
was
rest
listening.
high on that mountain or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I was listening to the lyrics of that, and I thought, how do you write those lyrics like that? It's just songwriters when they get
Well,
it.
that dude's on another level,
Yeah.
or used to be.
Yeah. Anyway, comparing that song to "Let Me Put My Love Into You," but
Yeah.
both great lyrics, but different sentiments. Back in Black, I've tried for years to master that riff on guitar, and the little part right there, it's I can't do it. I don't know how he does it. I've watched people do it. I've watched stuff on YouTube. Them teaching how to do it. I cannot make it work and sound right. I can play every other part of that song on guitar, but I cannot make that little opening part work right. So I just give up. It's
I love all the rhyming in this song. It just makes it so easy to sing along
yeah.
to.
You got some of their lyrics on that one?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Back
give us
in
some.
Black.
Yeah, give us some. Yeah.
Back in Black, I hit the sack. I've been too long. I'm glad to be back. Yes, I'm let loose from the noose that's keeping me hanging about. It
See,
all rhymes.
Brian was at his peak right there writing these lyrics. Yeah.
I love this song because in high school, this was kind of my life's theme.
Back in Black?
Yes. That's how I went to school every day, was all black. I had my black concert T-shirts, my black jeans, my black boots. I mean, this is the way I lived life in high school.
It matched her heart.
We're going to put a pin in that, too, because when it comes up to going to school and AC/DC coming up in a song here, I got a good story on that. But anybody that plays guitar or music, Back in Black is, I mean, that's your 3-chord riff that every song, there's 3 chords. Duff McKagan has a show on Sirius called 3 Chords and the Truth, and 3 chords is like, it depends on which one. But this one has the first 3 chords I learned on guitar is Back in Black. It's E, D, and A. So E5, D5, and A5. But that's the first 3 chords that most people learn on guitar. I don't. Some people would argue G, C, and D, but the easiest ones was E, A, and D. But it works. I mean, there's a million songs written with those 3 chords, but none of them are Back in Black. The next one is, of course, the big one on this album, which gets played everywhere. So every sporting event, every radio, there's probably 10 stations on Sirius that play this song. You Shook Me All Night Long. I saw it described as radio-friendly hard rock, and I guess that's a pretty good description. This one's a great sing-along song, the chorus is, and it was one that I remember when we added it the first time to our set, and we decided to close with it. And we played that song at this place in Shelby, North Carolina, and everybody stood up and went crazy. It was the last song we did, and it was an awesome song to close with because everybody loves this song. I mean, would y'all agree with that? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go anywhere without hearing this song,
Yeah.
Even weddings.
It's one of those.
Yeah, weddings, people. Yeah, it's
My cousin and
It's one of
his
those
new
things
bride walked out to this song.
Really? Which cousin?
Dennis and Wendy.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I was
Well,
there.
it's better than It's better than walking out to Buck Cherry. She's a crazy bee.
yeah.
Which
That's what Greg wanted to walk out to.
Yeah.
well, that's what I saw on the Tosh episode.
You know what
Somebody
our
walked
song
out to
was?
that.
You know what our song was? We walked out to.
I guarantee it was a Rolling Stone song.
No, it was not. You guaranteed wrong.
It was a Van Halen song.
No.
It was a Metallica song. I don't know.
Tell him, Jim.
It's a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah. Thank you. By
Thank
Led
you.
Zeppelin. Look up the lyrics sometime. It's a very good song. That was our song.
Although we changed them slightly.
Yeah. So the next one is Have a Drink on Me. That's another great bluesy song. And another great driving song. There's many songs on this album that I would consider driving songs. And that's one of them. It's written in G, by the way. I always cracked up in this song because right before the guitar solo comes in, he yells, "Get stoned!" And I'd say that along with it. I've got little things that I do with songs that Jan rolls her eyes at a lot because I have certain things I have to do for every song. Like if I'm driving where I'm at, but that's one of them. If I'm hearing it, I gotta go, "Get stoned!" Like, the part I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all three loving this song, right?
Yep.
That's a good song. Yep.
Here's the one that I was going to bring up about a story. Shake a Leg. This is one of my favorite songs on this album. I don't know if anybody else loves this song as much as I do. This song is in your face, like high energy song, like almost speed rock. It starts with a awesome little guitar solo, and Brian like screams his heart out on this song. I don't know. Probably I should have researched when the last time they sung this song live, because I don't think Brian could do this song now, because it probably would wear him out. I mean, he's 78 now anyway, but I bet you he hadn't been able to go all out on this song in a long time. But I can remember my little core memory from this album is going to school, riding with my friend Jamie. They were our neighbors, Jamie and Stevie, our best friends, me and my brother's best friends. And Jamie had this Mazda 626 car, and Jamie chain smoked then as a 16-year-old. We were in his car, and we're going to school, and I think we were running late. And he had this cassette in, and I remember at one point he was scaring us to death. He was driving so fast, and he had this cassette playing, and Shake a Leg was going, and he had his cigarette hanging out of his mouth, just passing cars left and right down Highway 10 going to. And there was a thing like thinking, yeah, we might die. He's driving so crazy. But that song was kicking full splat, and you just felt the music like, just let it go, man. Let it go. Whatever happens, happens. Shake a leg, man. I can still picture in my mind sitting in the front seat of that car with him and watching him drive like a lunatic with that cassette just blasting the song. It'll always have that little special place in my heart. And I will go ahead and say it's my favorite song on this album. I might be the only person to ever say that, but to me, this is my favorite song. So, y'all a fan of this one too?
I like it. It's catchy.
Chris, you
It's
like
all right.
this one?
It's all right. Yeah.
Brings us to our last one on this album. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. This is a great way to close this album. Wouldn't you agree?
My
Yeah,
favorite
this is
song
my
on
favorite
that
song.
one.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
favorite, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, I would bet that this one has probably been on every set list they've ever done, playing live. This and
Hell's Bells and
Hell's
Back to
Bells,
Black.
yeah,
Back in
Hell's
Black.
Bells, yeah.
Shoot Me All Night
Shoot Me All
Long.
Long, yeah.
They're all on.
Yeah, well, I tell you, the one that I know for sure has been every one of their set lists, because they've closed with it probably every show since the early 80s is, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You.
Yeah.
Which always cracks me up is that it is the perfect song to close their shows with those cannons. They always, the 21 gun salute, but it's just funny how the song that they close with is called For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. They really should open every show. But that's on the next album. So
maybe they're thinking about those after the show
the
when
after
the
party,
people leave.
Yeah.
They're going to go rock.
I always liked how the beginning of this song, he just kind of talked it.
Yeah.
And spoke the words instead of singing it.
It
just kind of drew you in.
It's
better.
described as a laid-back, heavy-footed blues rock song. That's a good description for that song. Did you know that the opening sound in that song is a lighter flicking?
No.
Yeah, listen back to it. When he's getting ready to talk, there's a sound of a lighter flicking a lighter. That's a little Easter egg there for you people. Yeah, it's another one. It's a great way to close out this album. Like I say, all 10 songs I love. Even though I might skip Back in Black, I only skip it because it's so great. I've heard it one too many times. I just, they caught some flack after this album because the next Fly on the Wall, Flick of the Switch, For Those About to Rock, did not reach the levels of this album. But you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you're a rock band like that. Because you put out something that's going to be an all-time history-making album, anything comes after it's going to be a letdown. So
I didn't realize till I was looking up some interesting things about this album that the all black cover was designed for Bon Scott.
Yeah, like a memorial.
A memorial,
yeah.
A sign of mourning.
There's a whole thing on black album covers too, which that one, the black album with the little thing, and then Spinal Tap put their album out in the movie. I guess sort of based on this, where their album gets banned because it's sexist. So they put out just a solid black album cover, and then years later, I saw Spinal Tap ripping Metallica because they said they stole their idea with their black album. But it all started with AC/DC, so it's a great album cover too. That's that little foggy, AC/DC wrote on it, Back in Black. I don't know how to explain it, but the 2 album punch of listen to Highway to Hell and then following up with this, it's like same band, two different singers, two different styles of songwriting as far as lyrics go, but they work perfectly.
I was always more of a Bon Scott fan.
Yeah.
Love Bon Scott. Still prefer Bon Scott over Brian Johnson. But this album, I wore it out when it came out. Still listen to it constantly.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm a Brian Johnson fan. I love Bon Scott, but I think he got a little cheesy sometimes. That's why I like the Brian Johnson.
Well, you know me and lyrics.
Yeah, you like, yeah. But you can't go wrong with either one of those guys, though. It's the perfect recast as far as, there's not a handful of bands that could pull that off. Van Halen did it once. AC/DC did it. I mean, who else can you think of that?
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, yeah, they did it. But, I mean, it's really doesn't... Chris, you know any other ones that replaced their lead singers and still kept up? Anthrax did for a while, but they're like not on the same level.
I will tell you what would be in that top 3 that you're talking about if they would have been smart and kept the lead singer, John Corabi, when he took over for Motley Crue. The Motley Crue album with John Corabi is a 10 out of 10 album.
Yeah, but
everything else they did.
Did y'all just feel that?
Yeah.
Did y'all feel that?
What
my eyes rolling at Chris?
Here's the thing about that, though, Chris. That's your personal favorite, but obviously that didn't work because the audience and the crowd, the fans, did not buy it.
I am not the only one with that opinion.
Yeah, you have the opinion, but overall, you have to, it's not like if they just stuck together. It had to work then. So that's how Van Halen pulled it off.
It would have worked then, but like most Motley Crue fans, they aren't intelligent enough to know decent music. So they didn't understand what they had in John.
You're getting flipped off through the microphone.
Oh, I know I am. That's why I'm saying it. Like, I know what's happening on that end.
You go see Corabi.
Have you ever listened to that album?
Yeah.
No, Jan. Have you ever listened to that Motley Crue album?
And I've seen John Corabi in concert.
Yeah.
I have too, here in Hickory, North Carolina.
Yep, us too. But anywho, let's get off the Motley Crue talk. Overall, there's a reason this album is probably the number one, or not probably. There's a reason this album is the number one selling rock album of all time. It's that good. And it's going to last forever. These songs are timeless, and they'll just keep getting played.
Because rock and roll ain't noise pollution.
Yeah. And I got a feeling...
Yeah,
they're probably doing their last tour right now because Brian's 78. Angus he's like early 70s. He's not that old, but the band is basically just Brian and Angus now. And as far as their, classic lineup goes, and he can't do this in his 80s. And I got a feeling that you're probably seeing the end of them as a live band. And it wouldn't shock me if in the next 5 years, Angus sells the AC/DC catalog like all these guys are doing. And when he does that, you're going to be hearing this a lot more on commercials and seeing a lot, as much AC/DC gear as you see out in Walmarts and places like that, you're going to see a lot more of it when they sell the brand.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. So, get ready because this album is just going to keep churning for the next, as long as we're alive, you're going to keep hearing this album, especially if they sell it like all these other guys are doing. So, I personally, I've been in a discussion on one of my music groups with people that I don't understand some of these companies that are buying these catalogs, how they're expecting to reimburse their money from it. Because given $500 million for, something that I don't know how many T-shirts you can sell to make up $500 million worth of stuff, or
commercials though. They
commercials too,
commercials.
But this one guy pointed out though, it's like the rise of AI music and all that stuff now. Are you really going to sell a lot more of your heartburn drug with an AC/DC song in it versus just putting some generic rock song in it? And they got me thinking, really? Are they? They're probably right. But the one guy did say, I did see a guy said that he's researched some of that, and a lot of these things they're talking about merchandising is where they're. So, yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more rock merchandise out there over the next 10 years or so. But, it makes smart sense for some of these guys to sell their catalogs because I saw Dee Snider said he sold his, and he said I could either keep getting my royalty checks in every year and paying a big percentage of tax on it, or I can get it settled up front and have it put in a trust or something and save a lot of tax money on it. So it makes sense for these guys to sell it. But just remember, though, if you're one of these artists, you sell your catalog, you've lost control of your publishing, and people can put your music in commercials and and stuff that you might not want it to be in, but guess what? You sold it out, so you got no say
You
on
saw
it. After
that. You
Yeah,
saw that this week with Katy Perry, right?
yeah. She don't own
She
it.
sold hers for.
Yeah, she's like,
She got old Macos
Yeah.
Trump and them used
Yeah.
one of her songs. She's all mad. People are like, well, you sold it for $200 million.
Yeah,
You don't get a
you
choice
don't own
anymore.
it. You got no say on it now. So,
Yeah.
you know, I know when Adam Yauch died from Beastie Boys, he had put it in his will that none of his music could be used in commercials.
But if they sell it, he will be.
Yeah, but I think so far his family and the other Beastie Boys have stayed steady. We're not selling this stuff, so I get it. But then I also get, if you're gone and it can help your family, what do you care that your song that stuck in a
Well,
commercial?
then it also opens up your music to people who may never have heard your music before.
Oh yeah.
See it on something.
Yeah. There's been some songs that I heard a song one night on a commercial, and I Shazam a lot of songs, and I heard a song one time on a commercial, and I was like, that's weird. That's kind of catchy, and looked it up, and it was Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. It was his first band. It was an instrumental or something. Before he ever got Deep Purple, I was like, wow, I didn't know they existed. Put it on my Spotify list, so
That's
it works. Cool. Yep. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for listening, and go out and remember, rock and roll's never gonna die. So give it a listen, because it ain't rock and
Because it ain't noise pollution.
yeah, rock ain't noise pollution, people. Chris, you got anything to add?
Long got gone.
Jan?
Go have a drink on me.
The Pixel People Pod. Steps up inside. Rewind the future fraud. The Pixel People Pod.
Thank you for coming to our podcast.